Okay, we're back on again. So you're talking.
Okay, are we back? We're sorry, you guys. We don't know what happened. We've never lost signal before in the middle of a YouTube live. That something happened. We've even done Facebook lives outside before and never lost it. So I don't know what happened. Thank you for fixing it, Tom.
I might have to find the other feed now here.
Okay, he's got to find the other feed.
Yeah, because this one will have
So
canceled off.
what I've forgotten now what we were talking about.
We finished talking about the top countries that we
Oh yeah, we were
visit with
talking
usually.
about all of our. We have the most amazing subscriber base, so we just love hearing from you guys when you email us and send us messages and share your stories with us. We absolutely love that. It's so rewarding. So thank you so much and keep it coming because we really enjoy hearing from you. And we met so many amazing people when we were in Vegas for the Ultimate Weight Loss Live convention. That was so fun and rewarding to meet so many people in person.
So it is working again. If you want to go on to the next thing, I don't have a picture up here, but
You don't have a picture up
Yeah.
there. Okay. So the other thing I was going to show you, you guys, you know my blog, Nutmeg Notebook, right? And I discovered freshly grated nutmeg a few years ago. Well, I guess it's been more than a few now. It's funny how time flies, right? The days are long, but the years are short, they say. And I was so amazed at how incredibly fragrant and delicious fresh nutmeg is. So I bought one of those little nutmeg grinders, little handheld metal ones, and I bought the little nutmegs and was grating it myself. And then Tom found this microplane one on Amazon and bought it for me. And oh my gosh,
that's the same company as your
as my
zester.
yeah, my microplane zester. And this is so amazing. I absolutely love it, and it's so much easier, and I never rake my knuckles on the grater. So we'll put that on our Amazon page. And if you've never tried fresh nutmeg, you are totally missing out because it is so delicious and aromatic and flavorful, and oh, it's incredible. Which brings me to another thing. Since we're talking about fresh spices, we took a little field trip this morning. We went up to Marysville to the local spicery, and we visited up there with Nick. What are you finding us?
Well, I started the stream on the phone, but I'm having trouble finding it now on the computer to
Oh,
catch
no.
up to monitoring
So
the chats.
we went up and toured local
This is
spicery,
live.
and we got to go back in the back room and see where they make everything. And oh, it was so much fun. And they're the nicest people ever. And we had such a great time. And I came home with all kinds of fun stuff. And so we're going to do a whole video about
Oh,
it.
they're both live. Okay, they both say they're live now. I've got the old stream and the new stream. So
Really? How weird is that?
yeah.
So well, you should close out the other one. Can you close out the other one somehow?
I don't know. Here's this one with 27 people, and here's this one with 14 still on it. So I'm sorry, folks. The YouTube is doing a strange thing.
I don't know what happened.
So why don't you jump on? Do you have your phone is up there?
My
We're
phone's up there.
broadcasting
Your
on
phone's
phone.
there.
Okay.
Can you go on and tell people?
Well, you know what? We got 27 people going on this channel. Let's talk to them.
Okay, so we're talking to you. We feel really bad for the other people who are left over there. So anyway, we went up to local spicery. It was fantastic. We had a wonderful time. They are amazing people making incredible spices. They have a whole line of SOS free, and we videotaped, we interviewed Nick, and there will be a video and a blog post coming soon. So stay tuned for that. So exciting. So I'm drinking some tea here, and I'm going to show you. This is one of my favorite seasonal teas. This is Trader Joe's Pumpkin Spice Rubio's Herbal Blend, and they only carry it in the fall. I haven't seen it yet. This is from a can that I bought last fall because I always stock up because they only carry it in the fall and it's a limited quantity. And so once it's gone, it's gone. And so I usually buy about 4 of them and stock up on them so that I have enough to carry me through till the next fall. So be looking for this at Trader Joe's because it's a limited edition, but it's so delicious. I love it. So you'll want to look for that. And I like hot tea. Do you guys drink hot herbal tea? I especially in the fall and in the winter, I really like it. So sometimes when I think I'm hungry, I'm really thirsty, and if I just make a cup of hot tea, it just satisfies me. And I kind of like the whole ritual of making tea. So we have a tea kettle, a whistling tea kettle no less. We're kind of old fashioned like that. And so I love to get that going on the stove top. And while it's heating up, then I get out a pretty little teacup and saucer, because at one time I collected these, and I would collect all kinds of different teacups and saucers. And so then I like to pick out a pretty little teacup and saucer and get my tea out. And then I like just the ritual of pouring the hot boiling water into my teapot. And today I'm using one that we bought when we were in Germany back in, was that like 2002 that we were in Germany? We went to Germany.
A while ago.
I think it was like 2002. And at the hotel that we were staying at, they used a teapot similar to this in the morning. And I just loved it. And then we went downtown and went to one of the stores and we found this. And so I had to have it. And we were actually able to get it back home without breaking it. Yeah, which I thought was pretty incredible.
Okay.
So I love that. So I just love the whole ritual of it. And then the pouring of the tea from the teapot into the cup and then holding the warm cup. It's just, the whole experience is fun and exciting.
So there was a question earlier before the feed. You know what? Thanks for the folks that posted on that other feed. I don't know how to go back and recapture that from this iPhone we're shooting from. So I did start another one. So thank you for letting those folks know.
Oh, great. You guys are the best.
We've recovered about 2/3 of the group at this point. Angelina is asking, should I calorie restrict for weight loss? I'm strictly whole food, plant-based, SOS. Free.
Oh, you know what? We don't calorie restrict at all, but what we do is we pay attention to the calorie density chart. So if you're not familiar with calorie density, on YouTube, Google calorie density Chef AJ or calorie density Jeff Novick. He is a registered dietitian. They both have excellent YouTube videos all about calorie density. And once you learn about calorie density, you don't need to count calories. You just need to know how many calories per pound different food groups are. And then if you stick to the groups that are 600 calories or less per pound, then you can eat from those food groups until you are comfortably full, and you will get to a healthy weight. So we also do something that's called sequencing, and that is eating the lowest calorie density foods first before you eat the higher calorie density foods. So what that looks like is the lowest calorie density foods would be vegetables, and those are like 67 to 100 calories per pound, and you would eat those first. And those are very filling because they're full of fiber, they're full of water, they create a lot of bulk in the stomach, they'll activate your stretch receptors, which will help make you feel full. And then after you've eaten a big serving of those, and half of your plate should be non-starchy vegetables and half of your plate can be starch in the form of potatoes or winter squash or rice or legumes, lentils, beans, etc. So after you eat the non-starchy vegetables, then you can move on to the starch. And what will happen is your tummy will get partially full from those low calorie density vegetables, so you'll have less room for the more high calorie density foods like your starches, which they are perfectly healthy. But if you're trying to lose weight, then that will help you to not consume as many calories, and you will lose weight. And that's what I did in order to lose my weight, and it's a great thing to do to maintain your weight loss as well. So I hope that helps. And truly learning about calorie density was a real key for me, because I used to be a yo-yo dieter, but once I learned about calorie density, I was like, shoot, if I had known that when I was 17, the first time that I joined Weight Watchers, that would have saved me from yo-yo dieting for most of my adult life, because calorie density just makes so much sense. So.
Okay, I think, other than having our hiccup with I'm scanning comments to see if I've missed any. And we lost the monitor on the other feed is still going. It's just laying there dormant. So
that is so weird. How can the phone be logged in on two different
I don't know.
YouTube videos on the same channel?
Well, it's froze at whatever state it is. So
okay.
I'll have to figure out the technology later.
Well, Steph, this is what happens when you go live, though. You have a risk that things are going to go wrong. When we videotape, then we're safe because Tom can edit, cut and splice, and do all of those things.
But we just don't get the two-way interaction that way, which is fun for everybody.
Yeah, it's fun for us, too.
You explained calorie density and sequencing. So, okay. Carla's saying thank you for that sequencing explanation.
You're welcome. And that works really well. And we did a test, actually. So when we first got our air fryer, we were making a lot of French fries, no oil French fries in our air fryer. And my pants were getting a little bit tight. And I mentioned something about that to Chef AJ. And she said, well, are you sequencing? Because if you were sequencing, you wouldn't have room for extra potatoes. I was like, oh, yeah, So sometimes we know things, but we just need someone to point them out to us so we can make a change. And so then we did an experiment. Instead of starting with our potatoes first, which, if you start with the starch, the higher calorie density food, you're going to consume it all because it tastes so good. And then you're not going to want to go back to the low calorie density foods like the vegetables, because the vegetables aren't going to taste as good after you've eaten the delicious air fried French fries. And so then the next time we made the air fried French fries, we ate our salads first, or our steamed vegetables, whatever it was that we had there. And guess what? There wasn't enough room left in the tummy to eat all the potatoes. And then the other trick with the air fried stuff is only make the same quantity of air fried French fries that you would eat if you were just eating a potato. So if you normally just eat one potato, take that one potato and make that one potato into air fried French fries. So
that was a no duh but very great suggestion. So,
right, portion control.
Yeah, because we were when we first got the Breville, we were filling the tray full of air fried potatoes.
Yeah, and the Breville holds a lot, because the Breville holds a 9x13 casserole dish, and so the tray for air frying is the size that would hold a 9x13 casserole dish, and we would just fill the whole thing with potatoes to make French fries for just the two of us. What were we thinking? Well, anyway, it was fun,
Yeah.
but we did learn.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go back and fix the two lives to be episode 11 part A and part B.
You could do that.
I can do that and leave them up there. So
you could.
Anyway, I don't know what the technology piece of that was, but I think we're pretty well caught up here with everybody. So
the only other thing I had on my list for today was if you were going to talk about getting off caffeine at all.
We had all that tea talk. I can do that in kind of an abbreviated version. I tried a couple of times to get off of caffeine.
Specifically coffee.
We had been to more than one lecture about caffeine, even though you may not be drinking it in the afternoon or evening. Mine typically was in the morning, but it was a good dose. 12-ounce cups, 2.5 of those, so 24, and 12 and 12 is 24, plus another, so 30 ounces of coffee practically every day. And I have no doubt that it was affecting my sleep, which then affects your energy, your ability to recover from physical activity, and just your depth of sleep so that your brain can do its processing and be healthy and restored for the next day. So I kind of did it, not that I was getting the jitters. I did it because I was learning that good sleep is very important to your overall health. And so I tried to do a cold quit on that a couple of years ago, and that resulted in 2 or 3 days of headaches, which I very promptly then said, I'm not doing this, and went right back to coffee.
Well, it's a migraine trigger. It was a migraine trigger for
me,
you.
and those are quite painful. But this year, after the first of the year, a friend of ours suggested that I try titrating. It's a person in the medical profession, and so that was another okay, yeah, that makes sense. So very gradually, actually literally 1 gram at a time each day, I would reduce I made the same amount of coffee, but I bought decaf, and so I would do 29 grams of regular coffee and 1 gram of decaf. And then I do that for a couple of days actually. And then the next day I cut it back to 27 grams and 3 grams, and then go a couple of days. And so slowly I converted the calf and the decaf to where it became 100% decaf. And then when I got to that point, then I started reducing the volume. The first time I tried to do my 2.5 cups, 2 cups, 1 cup, half a cup, and it was just too fast. So the gradual titrating over the period of 6 weeks, it took me to very slowly wean myself off of the addiction, physiological addiction to caffeine.
And how long you stayed at a certain level, that was dependent on how you were actually feeling.
Yes, because when I would step down, I could, almost kind of a headache, but not quite. And then when that sensation went away, then I would step down again. So sometimes it was just a couple of days. A few of the steps were 3 to 5 days. So,
and you kept detailed.
I kept
charts.
notes, so I didn't on the calendar actually, so that I wouldn't forget. So I wouldn't go backwards and step up a gram or two accidentally and create more work for myself.
And this was after you started drinking coffee at what age?
24-ish, about 1970. It was a work related. I started a job in 1976. Everybody there drank coffee. And actually, I stayed with that company from 1976 until 2014. I think it was a total of 38 years I spent. Multiple jobs, moved around the country a lot, went through the series of transfers and promotions.
Yeah. But my point was that you drank coffee. You drank coffee for most of your adult life. You were just shy of your 65th birthday.
I kept drinking after retired, so I drank coffee for over 40 years.
Yes, right.
In pretty good volumes.
And was still able to get off of it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty remarkable. And caffeine has a 17-hour half-life, they call it. So even though if you only drink it in the morning and you think that it doesn't affect your sleep, actually it does, because it will still interfere with you being able to get into that nice deep sleep. And not getting a restful night's sleep affects a lot of different areas of your life, and one that it affects, of course, is weight loss and health, because if you're not getting enough good sleep, your body and your brain doesn't have the time to heal itself and repair what needs to be repaired. So I was so happy that he was able to get off the caffeine, especially after attempts to do it and not being successful. So we thank you, Maureen, if you're watching,
Maureen,
that you were able to help Tom get off coffee, because that was a major thing for him to be able to accomplish that. So good job, honey.
Okay, Stephanie is asking, she missed to go see the Game Changers, and will it be streaming anywhere later?
Yeah, actually Google Game Changers and go to their website. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Well, they don't have it in any theaters and coming out in theaters right away in our area. There are some theaters up in British Columbia that are going to re-air it right away by popular demand. But it said they're going to soon be releasing a digital source for it soon.
Yeah, so if you go on to their website, there's a place to enter your email, and then you will get a notification as soon as they have a digital copy available. Also on there was a place to search and see if any theater near you is going to do a second viewing of it. There aren't any. I don't think any place in the United States was, but like Tom said, there were some, like in British Columbia, that were going to be doing a second viewing of it. So just Google Game Changers, go to their website, and check out the information that's there. So we'll be real excited when it's available, and you can either probably download a digital copy of it. So that'll be exciting. Anything else, Tom?
I'm just checking to see. Says here that maybe the second stream quit working too.
Really?
So I'm going to go look at the phone.
Okay.
So anyway,
I think we need
to call this a wrap on this session. It's technologically not going well.
I know. Well, sometimes that happens, you guys.
It's still showing here, and it's still showing live, and it's still playing.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see you. You just got up on that.
Okay.
So I think this one is still going.
All right. The stream says we're still going.
Yeah. So if there's any questions, I can answer any questions, or you can answer any questions. We have. We're going to
now I'm getting more.
Go hear another.
Can you make a salad dressing without balsamic?
Yeah, you can. You know what? Go to Kathy Fisher's site. It's called Straight Up Food, and she has some recipes on there where you are just using fruit. So mango and pineapple, and toss in some fresh herbs. So you could toss in cilantro, that would be good. You can do basil, that would be delicious. Of course, just using some lemon juice, lime juice, that can be really delicious. So I know that some people aren't able to have the vinegars. If you add some nice fresh fruit to your salads, it can really add a lot of moisture and flavor and a little bit of sweetness. And so you might not need any dressing then. You can use, like, if you take like a whole orange, you can put a whole orange and some garlic and some herbs in your, like if you have a high-powered blender like a Vitamix or a Blendtec, and you can just blend that up, and that can be a dressing. You can take tomatoes, and you can put tomatoes. You want them to be a little more sweet, I think, but you know, that's personal preference. You can put tomatoes in a blender and then put garlic and some whatever spices that you like, and you can blend that. You might need to put a little bit of water with it, or you can use aquafaba, which is the from canned or cooked, if you cook your own garbanzo beans, the broth, that's called aquafaba, and it has some thickness to it, and you could put that in there with it because that'll help make it creamy and thick, and blend it up, and then you can have a really nice tomato-based dressing. So yeah, you can make them without any vinegars if you can't have the vinegar. So you have to just kind of think out of the box a little bit and experiment and see what works for you, what you like. But do try adding some fruit to your salads, because that is a really big game changer, and so is chopping the salads. And I have a couple videos on making chopped salads. I have one where you're chopping it in a wood bowl with a mezzaluna, but I have another video where I show you how to make chopped salads with just a cutting board and a knife, which probably everyone has at home, and just chopping all of those greens and little tomatoes and the shredded carrots and broccoli slaw and all of that. When you chop it all small, it releases some of the juices from the vegetables, and then every bite is delicious, and it adds moisture to that salad, and then you require a lot less dressing if you even need dressing at all. And if you put fresh herbs in your salad, that makes it super flavorful as well. So those, and I have I just remembered, I have a video, Tammy's top tips on making delicious salads. So check that out too, because I have a lot of tips
That's
on
one
there.
of the live streams. I don't remember which number.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember which number either, but it's one of our Tuesday with Tammy.
I don't want to move off of this screen because I don't want to lose my
Okay.
stream on this. So SB, I hope that answers your question. Sorry, I was missing that feed. I was trying to go back and kill the other stream, and so I wasn't keeping up with your questions as promptly as I should. So SB was the one asking about
Okay,
the,
yeah. I
doing
hope
it without balsamic.
Yes, I hope that helps you. And you know, I do make my creamy balsamic dressing recipe is made with beans, because the cannellini beans help make it thick and creamy. And so you could probably do those with tomatoes and then some seasonings.
Take out the balsamic, yeah.
Yeah, and take out the balsamic. But then, you know, you just need a little something in there to add a boost of flavor. But if you use something acidic like lime juice or lemon juice or orange juice even, that can make for a nice balance.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Lots of notes about people refinding this in the old stream.
We're so sorry, you guys. We have no idea what happened.
Patricia's Holland Bowl got ordered
Nice.
last night, so that'll
May you
be
have
fun
a
one.
long and happy life together.
No, her at the bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought, what is it?
We love our Holland bowls. They're just so amazing. And chopped salads are such a game changer. And I have to tell you guys that we get emails every week from people and private Facebook messages from people thanking us for the chopped salads, because they really just taste so much better. So a lot of people who were never salad lovers are now eating salads because they're so delicious. And kids are starting to eat salads, and moms are telling me, you know, that they're having to make more salads because the whole family's getting on board, and their husbands are eating salads, and they're fixing them for their elderly parents who have a little bit of trouble chewing, but the parents can chew the chopped salads because they're so much easier to chew, and so they're getting in lots of greens. And you know, that just makes me so happy that people are joining us in the whole chopped salad thing.
Whole food plant-based chopped salads.
Yep. They're delicious.
Okay, I'm going to cruise back up the feed here.
Okay, Tom's just checking.
Evolution evidently is the brand name of vinegar that's readily available in Canada.
Evolution in Canada.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Who shared that?
That came from Pat.
Thank you,
Moore.
Pat, for sharing that. Evolution. So if you live in Canada, Google Evolution and see if they have a store near you. But if not, check and see if they have a website where you can order it and have it shipped to you. So although Thomas is in Northern California with California Balsamic, we don't live close enough that we can drive there every time we need a shipment. So we just order it and have it arrive, which is wonderful.
Do you think this is back on the dressings again?
Yeah.
Because SB had her question, but we had another one here from Non-M about dressings for kids, salad dressings that kids would tend to like. What about the strawberry one?
Well, that does have vinegar in it.
Oh.
So is she the one trying to do them without vinegar?
No, this is another question. That was SB. This is from Nan-M.
Yeah, well,
and
kids do tend to like things sweet.
Kids
so,
don't like balsamic. Any suggestions for salad dressings?
Yeah, so I would suggest doing Kathy Fisher's fruit-based one from straightupfood.com, and her name is Kathy Fisher, straightupfood.com, and she has one where you take mango and pineapple and you blend it in a blender and you add fresh herbs to it, and it is absolutely delicious. And also add a little bit of fruit to their salad. So, you know, in the fall we like chopped apple, and then those little cutie little mandarin oranges, or cuties they're called here. I don't know what they call them in other parts of the country, but we like a little bit of fruit like that in them. We are still able to get some fresh blueberries and strawberries, and so we like blueberries and strawberries in the salad. Also, if you do corn, and you can do, you know, like the organic frozen corn and just thaw it out. That is a little bit sweeter, but it also is a whole grain. And so put that in the salad for kids. And then don't put any of the bitter greens in their salad. You know, romaine is a little more sweet, so maybe do more of the lettuces in there. If they like red bell pepper, I mean, you know, cucumbers, like the Persian cucumbers, are really mild and slightly sweet. Like our 3-year-old granddaughter, who we call Sweet Pea, she likes the Persian cucumbers, and she likes the red and the yellow and the orange bell peppers because those are sweeter. So, and I wouldn't do the kale. I wouldn't do Brussels sprouts. Did you hear those ducks? Those ducks are getting noisy. I would do, you know, spinach, romaine, leaf lettuce. I would choose the things that are a little bit sweeter, and whatever, you know, shredded carrots, especially if you shred them yourself, because they're really moist then, and I think more appealing to the kids. So definitely do the fruit-based dressings.
Question about putting the salads together. From Stephanie, do you use a scale to weigh the 1 pound of lettuce for the containers? And then I would add, and why?
Yeah, you know, we do weigh them, and the only reason I do is I want to make sure that we're each getting a pound, and because we have lightweight things in the big bowl as well as heavy things, you know, I try to reach down in the bottom of the bowl to scoop up like the heavier stuff that falls to the bottom, like the broccoli slaw and the shredded carrots and the red cabbage. And so the only reason I weigh them is because I want to make sure that I'm getting a pound in each one of them, because I could easily just skim off the top and put a bunch of just lettuce in there, but not have it be a full pound, because, you know, the lettuce doesn't weigh as much as all that heavier stuff that falls to the bottom. So I do weigh them just to try to make sure that every salad has a pound, because we try to eat 2 pounds of
Plus, which I would be
vegetables.
Jealous if she had more salad than I had.
Yeah, so Tom grew up in a family of 6 kids, and so he's all about what's fair, especially when it comes to food. Because he doesn't want to be shortchanged at all. So we're just kidding. I mean, he really did come from a family like that, and he really does have an issue about that with food, but that's not why I weigh the salad.
I just want my share, honey.
That's right.
I just want my fair share.
Yeah, so that's why I weigh them, is just to make sure that every salad is a pound. Because it would be easy for me to, you know, one salad could be like 20 ounces easily, and then the next salad could easily just be like 11 or 12 ounces. So I just try to distribute them evenly.
Every man wants a fair share in life, a fair shake in life, and a fair maiden.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you should feel quite lucky then.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, we have a serious question, do
Okay.
we? A comment. Carla is saying that her daughter doesn't like the balsamic dressing, but she does love AJ's Knock Your Socks Off salad dressing, which does have balsamic in it,
Yes.
but doesn't, from Ultimate Weight Loss from AJ's, but it doesn't come to the surface, and so there's not a complaint.
Yeah, it's much sweeter. That dressing is much sweeter. I think
Okay.
that one has the pears in it. So if you add more fruit, you know, maybe your child would like our strawberry balsamic dressing. And if you subscribe to Nutmeg Notebook, you get 2 exclusive recipes. So when you subscribe, you automatically get an email sent to you with a link to a PDF where you get 2 exclusive recipes, and one of them is for a strawberry balsamic, where I use fresh strawberries in it. So and that might be sweet enough that the balsamic flavor doesn't come out as prominent, and you know, that could be an option.
Okay. I think we're caught up again.
Okay.
So
Do you want to scroll and just
Yeah.
make sure?
scale to
So,
weigh.
you know, we're always looking for ideas for our Tuesday with Tami lives, and we don't use this time for recipes, because we use the blog and the YouTube channel for that. Generally, we like to make recipes and videotape them, because just like the camera going wonky on us today. Anything can happen when you're doing
No,
a live demo.
It's not that we're any further away from our Wi-Fi router,
Right.
but we are outside, and so it's got to go through the sheetrock and the stucco. So I think that's probably the issue, is that it's just a little more sensitive because we're going through the stucco on the side of the house and not just the interior walls.
So, but if you have an idea for a subject, we like to conquer subjects usually for the
On Tuesdays.
Or we're also open to doing the Q&As, which is kind of fun for us to do as well.
Stephanie wants you to know that she did not like salad before she learned about the chopped salad from you.
Awesome. See, I just love that. I love that. And you all need to know I learned about chopped salads from Chef AJ because I saw her make one on a YouTube video when she was doing, I think it was one of her Weight Loss Wednesdays years ago. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try that. What's the big deal, with a chopped salad? And boy, after my first one, I was sold on it because we've been eating a salad for one meal a day since 2013 when I first adopted a whole food plant-based lifestyle because we were following Dr. Furman, and he has you do one salad as the main dish for one meal a day. And we were loving our salads. It's not that we didn't like our salads because we were loving our salads, but the chopped salads just are even better. And so once I tried that, we were all in. And then Tom tried it, and he was like, oh, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I got to get my fair share of that. Question from Lori Brown, up the scroll a little bit here. How do you take care of your chopping knife? We get that question quite a bit. It really depends on what tools you have in your own house, your own kitchen, your own shop to take care of it with. I originally was trying to sharpen it with a stone that seemed a little, a wet stone, just in the kitchen sink, and that would sort of keep an edge on it. But I realized later that I had out in the workbench a carbon steel, a V-wedge sharpening knife, and I just pull the blade through it and it sharpens it. So some of those on the market. There are some, what's that white one with the vibrating diamond plates that we have? Chef
something.
Not Magic Chef. Well, anyway, the most important thing is to try and sharpen it with something. I do dress our knife regularly with the steel. You're dealing with a curvy blade, but in our knife, everybody has the knife block, and in it is that metal bar that you're supposed to do the chef thing, sharpening the blade. And I very carefully, just roll the blade along that. So if you just go to YouTube and even just do a search for sharpened knife or sharpened mezzaluna knife or sharpened ulu knife, you're going to find a variety of answers come up for that, but it really depends on what tools you have in your own house.
Are you going to do a video?
Well, I'm looking at one particular kind of sharpener. It's a Ken onion sharpener, and it's a little sanding belt thing, and so it's like you can sharpen, literally, you can sharpen an axe with that thing.
Whoa.
And it's over $100, but it's probably, the most, premium, precise sharpener, but it's on my wish list. I haven't been able to justify the cost of that because I do have other sharpening tools here. But do a YouTube search, sharpening ulu knife or sharpening mezzaluna knife, and take a look at what comes up and see how that compares with what sharpeners you may have laying around the house. I'm going to have to hold off on making a recommendation right now of something that you might go buy because I want to.
You want to experiment.
I want to look at what works best for this particular application. There are so many experts and so many different expert ways to sharpen any knife, and many of them may not agree with each other. So I want to do a little bit more careful research before I say this is what I found to be the best way to do it. Right now, just do it with what you have and be careful.
Yeah, so I prefer using the mezzaluna knife, and Tom prefers using the ulu knife. But what we have noticed with both of those knives is that there gets to be this like white buildup on the blade itself after you have chopped a few salads. Now we always rinse either the ulu.
Even if you rinse it immediately.
Yeah, we always rinse it and dry it, but it starts to get this white filmy buildup on it. And so to clean that, I just take a little bit of the what's that white powder?
Barkeeper's Friend.
Barkeeper's Friend. So Barkeeper's Friend, it's just a cleanser that you can buy. Most grocery stores, Target sells it. And I just sprinkle a little bit of that on the blade, and then I just take one of those little 3M blue scrubbies, and where it's a sponge on one side and the blue scrubby on the other side, and then I just scrub that. Very careful, you have to be really, really careful because that blade is sharp and you don't want to cut yourself. But that cuts through whatever that little film is that builds up on that, and then I just rinse it and dry it and put it away. And Holland Bowl is making a holder for the Mezzaluna knives, so they sent me one to try to see, and I like it. So it's not on their website yet, but when it is, I'll let you all know. And so it's like kind of like a wood sheath to put the knife in so that you won't get cut, which is kind of nice.
Sherry says there are vegan ranch dressings that the kids will like that have nuts, and kids can afford the calories. That's very true.
Yes.
Or use sunflower seeds if they're allergic to nuts. And
those are great.
And you can find those on Chef Google.
Yes. So just Google vegan ranch dressings. So that's a really good suggestion. Thank you for suggesting that. And kids can handle the cashews, the nuts, and.
Okay. Two more questions now.
Okay.
And I want to get to both Kathy about. Actually, let's do Kathy's first because it's about how long does your teapot stay hot?
Oh.
Is it still hot now?
Uh-huh.
She asked that a little while ago.
It is. It's still warm. So usually I have a tea cozy. It's a little quilted. It's called a tea cozy that we put over this, and that helps it stay hot. But it was like almost time to go live. And so I didn't have time to put the cozy on because I had to get out here with my tea. But yeah, it'll stay hot for quite some time with the cozy on. Now the bowl of this is still warm right now, so it actually does a pretty good job.
Okay, Stephanie is asking, do you think having the starch at every meal helps with weight loss?
Well, absolutely, because it helps with satiety. So fruit and vegetables are the lowest calorie density foods, but they're not going to last you for very long, and you don't get energy from them. We get our energy from unrefined complex carbohydrates. So even when you're sequencing, you have the lower calorie density foods first, but you're going to need that starch. You're going to need it for satiety. You're going to also need it for energy because your body takes those carbohydrates and converts them into glucose, and that's what fuels you, and you need that for your brain function as well. So absolutely, you need to have the starch. Whether it can be whatever kind of starch you like, though, as long as it's unrefined complex carbohydrates. So
with no added oil or butter.
Yeah, with no added oil or butter. So it depends on what you put on them too. But so it could be potatoes, it could be sweet potatoes, any kind of sweet potatoes. And any kind of potato. Like I prefer the Yukon Gold potatoes are my favorite for just a potato. And then Japanese sweet potatoes and Hana yams are my favorite kind of sweet potatoes. And we just found out recently that really they're all sweet potatoes, not yams.
Hana yams are actually not yams.
They're sweet potatoes, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. So so it could be those. It could be winter squash like Hubbard, delicata, butternut, kabocha squash, and those are all coming into season right now. In fact, our daughter bought the most beautiful kabocha squash, a huge organic one at Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's has them, instead of being priced per pound, they're priced per piece.
So you can buy the biggest one.
So you can buy the biggest one, and it costs the same as the littlest one.
We better get there quick, because if somebody else buys the biggest one, that wouldn't be fair to me.
I know, it wouldn't be fair to you. And so it can be that. It could be brown rice. It could be millet. It could be amaranth. Whatever kind of grain you like. It could be legumes. It can be lentils and beans. So, but you need those unrefined carbohydrates in order to completely feel satiated and to have enough energy to get through the day. So if you want to have a potato for all 3 of your meals a day, go ahead and have the potato. Just don't put the wrong kinds of things on them, you know. We don't want oil, butter, those kinds of things.
Okay. Okay.
It really feels like fall out here today. Today really feels like fall.
Yeah, for those of you that are working on cleaning the mezzaluna knife and that calcium buildup on there,
Yeah.
just be real wary of the blade. If you're going in there close with the barkeeper's friend and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's better to
maybe
just
find a cutting board and put the blade
yes
down on it, and
then only go one direction.
Rub towards the edge, not.
Don't come back up,
Yeah,
because you can cut yourself. Because I had dropped that mezzaluna knife down in my dishwater one day. I don't know why I did that, because I had never done it before. And it has that wood blade, so I usually try to, the wood handle, I usually try to not get the wood handle wet. But for whatever reason, I dropped that down in my sink. And then when I went in to pick it up, I got it by the blade instead of by the handle, and I really cut myself very, very badly. So I am super careful with that mezzaluna knife now when I go to wash it, and I do not put it in the sink. And I take it from my bowl over to the sink, and I rinse it and wash it right then, dry it, and put it away.
Okay. If I missed anybody's questions on the live feed, since I was dealing with the issues and getting rid of a couple of trolls here, which I've actually reported to YouTube for their misbehavior. I don't know if you guys even see those. Re-ask the question in the comments section after the video is done. You can go in there and post a comment on the live posting of the video. And
yeah, and if you
yes,
have
we'll
any
catch 'em there.
suggestions for us for our Tuesdays with Tammy and sometimes Tom, you can either leave us a comment here on the YouTube channel, or you can send it to us in an email at Tammy@NutmegNotebook, or you can .com, or you can leave us a message on the Nutmeg Notebook Facebook page as well. And again, we're looking for like a theme kind of thing, that where it's a subject that we can talk about on Tuesday for something that you guys want to know more
not
about.
a recipe request, but a topical discussion.
Yeah,
request.
but if you have a recipe request, you can give us that too, and we'll jot that down and try to do it on a future video or blog post or both.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we've got another thing to go to. Today's been a busy day. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're sorry that we lost the feed halfway through. We don't know what happened, but we appreciate that you're here and that you're watching and that you comment and interact with us. That's just fantastic. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the little bell that's over there by the subscribe tab, because when you click on that bell, that's how you get automatic notifications every time we go live or every time we have a new video up. And if you haven't yet, hop on over to the blog at nutmegnotebook.com, because that's where we have hundreds of recipes that we have yet to make videos for. There's just not enough hours in the day to get it all done. But when you subscribe, you get 2 exclusive recipes that only go to subscribers. So, and if you like this video, give us that thumbs up, because that really helps our ratings here on YouTube, and that allows us to reach more people, which is what our goal is, to help people make this lifestyle easier, because we know if you don't figure out how to do the food and make it easy and sustainable, that you won't adhere to this lifestyle for the long term. And we want everyone to benefit from the health benefits, and we want the earth to benefit from the benefits of not eating animal products as well as the animals. So thank you for watching today. I'm Tammy.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you
Get healthy
and stay healthy, one meal at a time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.